welcome to our Hsing I Chuan program for this Wednesday morning, working our way through the returning fist number 1, the linking fist form, combining some of our animal and elements, giving us a chance to blend and look at some new combinations that individual animal and element fists don't come up with. Okay, we'll get ourselves settled in here and just let the head rise and fall. And looking from side to side. And ear from shoulder to shoulder. Let the head roll using gentle half circles. Keeping the jaw closed, we're going to take the chin up and around. And the other way. Good. Let's get those shoulders warmed up. Roll them back. And we can roll them forward. We can go arms, circle one way. And arms can circle the other. We'll reach and lean and hang to one side. And over to the other. Again on the first side. And the second. Let's let those arms just go loose, wrap around the body a little bit. And we'll go to the shoulder stretch. Give it a bit of a pull. And same on the other side. I'm going to go over the head and pull. And same on the other side. And then behind the back and pull. And same on the other side. Good. Shake out the arms. We'll warm up the hips. Let them roll around one way. And around the other. One more time, the first way. And the second. Okay, legs from the inside to the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. From the outside to the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Shake it out a little bit. Let's put our feet together and knees around one way. And knees around the other. One more time, the first way. And the second. And we'll shake it out. Okay, we're going to start out today using some movements from the I Chuan system as a way to develop some of the internal structures that will influence and be a part of our returning fist and our elements and animals that connect to them. So let's start out this morning with a circuit that connects a lot to both fire and metal. And this is one where we're going to go 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. We're going to push out in the front. We're going to settle back. We're going to draw in. We're going to pick up. We're going to push out. So we circulate in, up, and out. I'll just do a few circuits of each of these. So we're drawing, we're pushing, we're settling, we're pulling in, we're getting under, we're pushing out. Let's try that with the other leg forward. So we'll bring that around to the other side. So drawing in. In this case, we're not bringing the hands around to the side with us. We're working in the front. So our hips are shifting and we're settling in, but those hands are trying to stay facing forward. Let's go back to the first side and let's work that circuit the other direction. So we're going to reach out, draw in, settle down, push out, draw in, press down, push out, up, back, in and down. Let's take that to the other side. So we're out, up, in, down and forward, up from underneath, press down, come forward, draw back. Okay, so to get a little bit closer to our opening, to our metal kind of work, let's separate those hands now. So when we come forward, we're going to be pressing out with the back arm. Then we're going to change the heights of those arms. And then we're going to press out with the front arm as we go back. So we're going to go forward and back, forward and back. Let's take that to the other side. So back arm pushes out, hands change. We roll back, front arm pushes out, hands change. So a nice rolling back and forth. These are great exercises to really help us work on refining those chains from center to extremity, of exchanging in the hips, of powering from the legs into the ground. Okay, so let's take one that has some connections to our wood fist. So first, let's do it like we did with the other one, where we do two hands together. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to push down the center. We're going to press out. We're going to roll back, settle, and push down the center. So we'll start out with one leg forward, roll, settle, push, come forward, roll back, pushing out. That's it, roll back and out. Let's change that to the other side. So we're drawing back, pushing forward, draw back, and come forward. Last one. Okay, so now let's bring it a little closer to how we see it in the wood fist, where we're driving and drilling with the fist. This one stays with open hands, but the same idea. So we're pressing away and we're driving down the center. We're pressing away as we drop and come through center off the other side. So we're pressing, pressing. So you're rolling through, coming down the center. This is a great way to get a lot of repetitions in that core work in our trunk, the pressing from the legs. Good. Okay, let's switch that up with the other leg forward. So we're pushing out with the back arm as we go forward. We're wiping, pressing out. As we roll back, we're pressing out with the front arm. We're folding that over, pressing down and away. So we're rolling that structure. A couple more. Good. Okay. Come on up. Let's do one more today. And this one links to our uppercut section that we were just kind of adding in last week, where we were going uppercut and then into our dragon. There's that one arm, other arm work we just did. So this one has a bit of a, I'm thinking a little bit like a U, where we want to, for strengthen the legs, we want to dip down and push up, dip down, roll back, push up. And what we're going to do is we're going to work an arm exercise here. We're going to have one arm kind of up high and the other one punching. So we're going to dip and pop, dip and pop. So we're rolling from the front leg to the back leg, from the back leg to the front leg. And that's kind of the connection to the one we're doing in the set right now. We're doing that rear arm uppercut in there. So roll and uppercut, roll back, roll forward, and roll back. Really think about involving the glutes to help push through the ground, push through, roll and uppercut, roll and uppercut. Let's go with the other leg forward. So we're dipping in, throwing our uppercut, dip, uppercut. Want a good workout? Dip, uppercut. One, and back, two, forward. Good. Okay, come on up from there. Let's talk a little bit about pounding the mortar. Let's talk a little bit about also Earth's hammering kind of motion. So what we have a lot with our pound the mortar work, and same with this kind of Earth crossing hammer, crossing forearm kind of movement, we have this closing and opening play in the body where we're expanding and then contracting in. So what we're going to do is just going to work with that for a moment. So I'm going to get you to go open and let's go pound the mortar so we can think about closing and striking. Now, one of the things that Sifu would do with us would be to kind of work as you go slow, slow, and then at some point you're going to go, bam, and you want to bring those two pieces together. So we're training our palm for our palm parries and things of that sort, and we're training this connection through and into place. So we're pounding in. Now, in the set, we only do that on one side, but I would suggest working on the other. So open, close, open, close. Play with that idea of condensing in the center and bringing that in. Every so often, pound that in. Get used to that condensing and bringing everything in. So we're chopping in, coming through. In the set, we've got this big motion, but that's that same idea. Open and then condense. Condense to bring everything in. Open and then condense. Pound in, pound. Don't bruise your hands or anything, but get that feeling of pulling in. Now, how does that connect with our earth fist? So we have, now we can bring our hand up high. So in earth, as we cover and shift and cover and shift, there's also this potential hammering, sort of hatcheting motion inside of there. So we can work that as open and close, open and close. We get that sense of chopping. Now in close range kind of striking stuff, if we're inside and we want to destabilize, it doesn't take much to use these hammers to like the side of the neck and the jaw. There's that crossing power of earth across the body. Open and close, open, condense, open. Think about bringing that in on itself, bring it in. And we don't want to be super tight when we bring it. It's not like we're tightening up the whole body. We're condensing in, but we're keeping this like a whip. We're keeping it relaxed so that hammer pounds through, pounds through. Okay, time is zipping on by, so just wanted to introduce a few things you can play with to help the body really adapt some of these ways of moving that are in our internal arts, the expanding and condensing, these continuous rolling, changing motions. But we also want to keep track of what we've been doing with our set. So let's shift into working on our diagonal stepping section. We've been focusing on that a little bit over the last couple of weeks, starting out with this footwork where we're going push back, push back. Now, if we've got lots of room, we could just keep doing that. You could go step back, step back, step back, step back. What we're trying to get a little bit from these kind of motions is the idea that we don't retreat on the straight line all the time, that when someone's moving into our space, we're able to shift out and move on those diagonals. Now we're adding different things to that. In our first retreats, we're working this circuit over and around, over and around. Now that could be that you're just getting yourself to the outside, but you might also start to seize when you're out there. So you can think about, oh, whoa, what was that? It's kind of like a wiping motion. I might be picking up on the forearm to start with in the thumb side of that forearm, and then I'm shifting out to the pinky. I'm shifting, I'm moving out of the way. We could have these, two working together, or we can think about them as one and two, but we're getting that reflex of flinch and move out to the corner. Whoa, flinch and move out to the corner. Now that has that pounding motion that comes back in there. Now the other one that we have when we're moving back is we have crossing, that crossing fist, earth fist that we were just working on, that sort of opening and closing motion. So we can deflect one and transfer two. So if we keep thinking about right now, somebody with their arms out, and what we're trying to do is get to the outsides of those arms. And so I'm facilitating getting my head off of that center line by getting my zigzag. If someone's here, I'm getting my head off the line the other way. Could be coming back on center, or I could just be working from side to side. Now, in our first one, we were kind of using some of these forearm deflections. Now we're going to get this cross and pass kind of motion. So we go cross over as we step, and then we pass that to the other arm. We cross over and we pass that. So again, nothing is one thing in particular. That's the nice thing about these movements. They can be many things at the same time. So deflect, pound. So we can be using that chopping kind of motion we had, and then we're using a forearm that's slipping in. So again, if you're thinking about that arm facing you, you could be hitting it with one hand and pushing it onto the other arm. So now we're on the outside of the person. We can hit it on one arm, deflect it out. Then we might do something like grab it and hyperextend an elbow when we start switching from side to side. But let's talk about the angular work. Off to one corner, off to the other corner. So we had a up the center and out, up the center and out. We now have from the outside and across, from the outside and across. We combine the outside and across with that scooping through the center. Outside and across while scooping. Now, the other part of the zigzag is not the retreating part of the zigzag, but the advancing part. And that's where, with our pounding the mortar, we get this motion where we're slipping off angle and coming back in with our fire fist. Slipping off angle and coming back in. Now, that could be, again, that you're kind of slipping and pushing something away. But this one's a lot about how to kind of stumble up somebody's feet a little bit when we step in. So as we come through and we start to wedge, again, here's that person. We're going to talk about getting to the outside of their arm. And what we're doing here is we're sneaking that arm around to the outside, getting underneath and driving into it and wedging it so we can come through with our own strike. And we could do that on either side. We could slip out, wedge in, and take over that. Now, in terms of the striking, in the set, we kind of end up facing forward with this motion. But in a situation where you're trying to destabilize or strike well, you might want to come off angle. So you might be thinking about getting out of the way and then striking across the person. So you're stepping across their center, getting out of the way and striking. Now, we've got these big motions, always big motions because we're going through full kinetic chains. But we might just take that whole idea to shifting and striking and shifting and striking. Okay, again, time disappears on us. So why don't we spend the next little while just doing our linking motions up to our, we were working on the uppercut to dragon pose. And we won't throw anything more in there. Let's do some review on that, and we'll start to pick up some more new stuff next week. But start to think about how to apply some of this motion here. Where's that deflection and exchanges? Where's those spiraling movements we had from the I Chuan as we're working our wood fist techniques? Where's that gathering? Where's that pounding of the mortar? All those internal engines, we want to apply them in our set as well. So feet are at 45 degrees, sorry, facing the wrong way. 45 degrees, I'm going to be heading in the same line as the boards on the floor. So I've got that first part was the idea of Wuji. So all sets start with this concept of just trying to empty the mind, connect to the body, still everything for a moment. And then we're going to pick that energy up, brush up the spine. Here we start to introduce rooting, coiling. We sit in our right leg as we release our left. We spiral that elbow low, but we're still in the right leg. We slip the left hand, we spiral it in and connect it by the elbow so that we can then push from the ground out. Our first movement, we're going to get that rolling punching. So we punch with wood fist. Now that really tricky crossing and slipping back into our earth. So we're covering as we move back and we're slipping through. And we talked about all the different ways we can hit with this, but we can also check with it as well. And then right away, there's that press down and punch again. This takes us to the zigzags we were working on. So I'm going to come underneath because I'm slipping out and tearing open. I'm then crossing the hands. I then slip back on the 45 and around. And this is where open, 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 and we condense. Boom. We hold that feeling of being condensed as we step, so that when we drive this fire fist in, we're opening and coming into place. Now our second retreating diagonals, here's that chopping covering and slipping to the outside, if we look at it that way. Covering and slipping to the outside, 1, 2. Now we roll back, just like we did with that I Chuan. We dip and punch. Then we're going to come around, kick, and here we're going to, a little bit like metal, we're going to drive 1 down, 1 forward. Boom, as we pull back. And we only have a couple of postures left before our turnaround, but we'll save those for next week. Let's do that again. So 1, 2, up and press down, spiral and palm, punch, roll back, cross, wood fist punch, phoenix arms as we retreat, 1 and 2. That takes us to pounding the mortar. Step, contain that potential, drive out. Cover as we step back. I'm already setting up that step back as I cover 1, as I cover 2. So I'm stepping on that dial, covering 2 and 3. Then we're rolling back. We're turning the palm out. We're dipping in a little and we're shuffling forward for uppercut. Then we're going to kick, come through, and drive down. So that last little chain, we had done our step back earth 1, step back earth 1 and 2. So we've got our weight in the right leg. We're going to roll back, sink in that right leg, and shuffle into uppercut. Then we're kicking, gathering, and driving down. Good. So again, slight modification. Sometimes when we're doing the dragon as a walk, we're kind of picking this up a bit more. Here we're getting a bit of that metal spiraling through and dropping in. Okay, I think we can squeeze in 1 more rotation through this today. So 1, 2, lift, squish, coil, release that left foot, bring in the left hand, push through, follow up with wood fist, shuffle in, cover and slip back, earth, drive forward, wood, phoenix arms comes under, we step on the 45, 1, we step back on the 45, 2, and we pound the mortar. We step, contain on the 45 and drive, fire. Then we're rolling back, cover 1 on the 45 with our earth, 1, and then 2, and then we wind up, an uppercut, we kick and drive down. Good. Let's leave it there for today. So shoulders can go back. We'll shake it out. Next week, we're going to put in the next piece that will bring us close to the turnaround and close to the end of the pass. The pass is not huge. Like a lot of Hsing I, it's about compact ideas, not long ideas. And repetition is where all the meat and potatoes of the work comes, not just from learning the sequence, from what we're doing with that sequence. All right, thanks for training hard today. We're going to take a quick break and come back with the Mai Zhangla horn. If you have any questions, you're here live, let's take those. Or, as usual, you can give me an email or a text. I'll bring those answers to you in the next lesson. Thanks for training today.